onto a subject that how you perceive this is purely up to you. Sonic Forces was released last week to kind of a mixed reception.
I haven't had time to get it yet.
I'm just going to put my sentiments out there. It's not an awful game, but it's far from their best. The thing that I enjoy about it the most from a gameplay aesthetic is I think the custom avatar character is a welcome and refreshing change to how they've done their games within the last 10 to 15 years. But classic Sonic or Mania Sonic, whichever your preferred interpretation, he does feel very weighted and a little bit clunky in places. Modern Sonic has a similar problem with regards to the way he jumps from platform to platform. It doesn't feel natural. I'm glad they've kept the boost bar from Sonic Unleashed because it's a good way of getting through the zones just that little bit quicker. But it feels in a very similar context to Sonic Generations. It could have gone on for maybe 2 to 3 hours more because I started playing this Tuesday last week around noon, and I was done by 5 p.m. If this had taken me a few days to get through, like Sonic Unleashed, for example, because Sonic Unleashed took a lot of people's time, and I felt like in the
mostly because of the moon sun medals. No, yeah, that was Unleashed. Yeah, the moon sun, those stupid medals.
I felt like if they tried to have gameplay mechanics of that particular caliber that made you work for it, but at the same time, it felt like a challenge you could do, rather than something monumental that almost broke people's spirits, like Sonic 360, for example. That tested everyone's patience back then.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
It could have been a lot better. CG cutscene-wise, it's not as good as, say, Sonic 360's more full CG cutscenes, because you'd have ones where they're proper full-on CG cinematics, and there are other CG cutscenes where it's actual graphics from in-game play. Where Sonic Unleashed, they kind of bridged that a little bit better. But then again, Sonic Unleashed is a far superior game to Sonic 360 by any measurable standard. With Sonic Generations, it felt like the most balanced Sonic game in the modern era that we've had for a while. But Forces, although it was kind of a video game adaptation of Satam, which a lot of us have been wanting for a long-ass time, because we were cheated out of a third season. We all know it. And just a minor thing, apparently the Sonic Forces online comic is canon to the games, so the pictures of Sally Acorn that are actually in that comic, that is actually now canon to the game series. So technically speaking, Sally Acorn is now canon in the game series.
What was the context for her picture?
It was just pictures of her in the office background where Rouge is actually talking on a microphone headset, and there's pictures of her and Knuckles in the background on a wall. And all I can say to Sega is, about damn time! Stop ignoring her, damn it! And
it's like, stop wasting your time on Styx the Badgers. Bring Sally back.
Hell yeah! And surprising no one, she was my my custom avatar character as best as I could put her together. But again, I found Sally's gameplay tactics in the game was probably the most fun I had with it. The only thing I found that was probably bit of a letdown. Hers and Classic Sonic's were the easiest to get to S rank in their levels, whereas with Modern Sonic, it tests you maybe a little too much. And this is actually the first time in a long time the Chaos Emeralds have not been a plot device for the actual game story, which is an interesting way to do a Sonic game, because they have been the plot device of virtually all of the games since day one. So to see that not in the game, that was a different experience, but every once in a while you have to do something a little bit different just to shake yourself out of a rut, for lack of a better description. According to Oni, Chaos Emeralds are DLC, yeah, because apparently you can have a playthrough as Super Sonic, but the Chaos Emeralds are not the main canon of this particular story. It's just Robotnik has taken over the world because reasons, and it's a resistance fighting back. And of all the people they actually get to be the commander-in-chief, it's Knuckles, which after many years of him being a dumbass, they actually put some competent level of intelligence back in him. But whilst it's something that fans have asked for years, it's such a surprise to see Sega actually giving the fans what they want. But, you know, careful what you ask for, because sometimes you just might get it.
Is it fair?
Go on.
I was going to say, though, to be fair, I'm pretty sure they try to give the fans what they want. It's just the fan base over the years has been pretty picky and wishy-washy in terms of what they want.
That is very true. A lot of fans have said, I will let you in I'll put you in a moment, Oni. I just need to finish up on this. I don't think it's the worst modern Sonic game that's been put out. That honor still belongs to Sonic 360, but I feel like forces not necessarily more development time. I tend to take the approach that everyone else has been saying. Izuka's got to go. Can someone keep Tyrese off? Raiden, can someone keep Tyrese off of social media? I think that's a different subject, Raiden. With Sonic Mania, you have fans that grew up with the franchise, and they want to present a game that they remember, not something they saw. And to be fair to Christian Whitehead and Stealth, they knew what they were doing in presenting the game that they knew that people would love. And Sonic Mania is beloved by so many, and if there are people that don't like it, that's your choice, but personally I think you're being incredibly harsh. Whereas Sonic Forces, I don't think it's going to be hated, but it's going to be one of those games it's a bit it's okay, because that's the impression I got with it. Although the last boss battle, where it's the Death Egg robot with Classic, Modern, and Sally, I spent 40 minutes trying to beat that boss, simply because it was one of those situations that it just tests your patience. Not as much as said level from Sonic 06 that we're not supposed to talk about. But it's somewhere up there. But I have to be fair, the game gets an adequate 7 out of 10. It's not great, not awful, it's just presentably average. And it makes me question as to what kind of Sonic game we're going to see in future years from Sonic Team, because I've noticed ever since 2011, 2012, we don't see a brand new Sonic game from Sonic Team that quickly now. Because if you go back to 2003, going up until 2006, there was a brand new Sonic game every year. Whereas now, it looks like they're actually taking their time with them. The problem
Well,
is
even
with forces,
still,
I think they took too long.
That they probably forgot how to. They probably maybe they like made it felt like, judging by the responses to this game, it seemed like this was the kind of game where they didn't put a whole lot of effort into it. Where it's like, oh shit, we gotta make a game. Let's just do Generations again. There we go. Yeah. All right. Let's call it a day.
Yeah.